where I am right now is not where I'm meant to be. Just take a moment as I say that and ask yourself, I wonder whether you can relate to this. What if the opposite were true? What if right now, in this moment, in whatever you're moving through, what if that is the path? The darkness shows us where the light is needed. We would not even know to turn on a light if the room wasn't dark. In fact, we wouldn't know what light is without the contrast of darkness. Is the darkness there to pull us under, to destroy us, to take us off our path? No. It's here to reveal your capacity for more light, to reveal where more light is needed and where more light is coming in for you. Beautiful soul. Welcome back to the Abundance Club podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm so happy to be here sharing this episode, and I really wanted this to be intentional, and so I took a moment to really feel into what is the energy that feels present this week. You know, we're moving through this really big time astrologically. We're moving into this full moon. I know for us in the Southern Hemisphere, that will be tomorrow on Wednesday. I know it'll be different for our folks in the Northern Hemisphere. But you know, whenever something like this feels quite big and you tune into the energy of it, we are met with, what is, or I like to look at it as like, what is the real invitation here? And when I was tuning in for this episode, I got the word resistance, and I had this real visceral felt sense in my body of what that is. And I feel like this is something that so many of us can relate to. And I also believe that it's this missing piece for so many that keeps people in this place of wondering, of waiting, wishing, hoping that maybe life situation was different. So it keeps us really at arm's length from our desired reality. And I believe that one of the biggest lies that we believe that keeps us in this place of resistance is this: where I am right now is not where I'm meant to be. Just take a moment as I say that and ask yourself, I wonder whether you can relate to this, because I feel like if you've clicked on this podcast episode, it's for a reason. You are here. And so maybe this is an initiation that you are moving through. I like to think of this as a real threshold moment. Where I am right now is not where I'm meant to be. This might be conscious for you. This might feel like on a deeper subconscious layer that then creates a feeling of resistance in your body. And what happens is that when we believe that lie, because essentially that's not truth, and I'm going to talk about why that's the case. And for you, it might look like something different. It might look like who I am being right now is not who I'm meant to be. It might look like what I'm moving through is not what I'm meant to be moving through. Where I am right now is not where I'm meant to be. What's going on in my life shouldn't be happening. Okay. So we're arguing with the present moment, basically. In all of these instances, we are arguing with what is. Whatever it is that's showing up in our life right now, whatever challenge, whatever we are experiencing. And the thought then that we have behind all this is that we've somehow made a mistake, made a wrong turn, missed a step, missed something along the way, messed up, made a wrong decision. Can you relate to this? I know I can. And what ends up happening is when we're believing these thoughts and when we have these reoccurring thoughts, and when we're even just contemplating this and asking ourselves the question, like, what have I missed? What's going on? What ends up happening is we're creating more and more resistance to what is. We're creating a bigger gap between where we are and where we want to be. So if we are resisting what is, what's occurring in our life right now, do you think that we are open and available to what is wanting to come through into our lives? Like the very thing that we have been asking for. When we are in the resistance, are we open and available for that? Or do we just quietly have that door closed because we're so busy fighting and arguing with reality? And the other thing that happens when we're busy arguing with the present moment is that we are quietly, and this part's really important, like we are quietly eroding our trust in God or in the universe, in the creator, whatever you call it. It's like we're saying, you've made a mistake. Where I am is not where I'm meant to be because it's uncomfortable, it's challenging, it's seeming like things are going wrong, it's confusing, it's overwhelming. Like, this is what we're really saying. This is often why we're arguing with reality or why we think it's not where we're meant to be, is because seemingly we are perceiving that something is wrong, mainly because it doesn't feel good, because it feels uncomfortable. So we automatically assume then that us or God has made an error somewhere and we're off path. We're going backwards. I see this all the time in my work with clients. When people first come to work with me and they feel like they're stuck or they're going through a really big thing or a heartbreak or a loss or tough times, or they're just feeling like no matter what I do, my manifestation isn't coming true. It's not occurring. My wish isn't being fulfilled. And so they assume that something's wrong or that they've messed up along the way without realizing that these very beliefs are creating more and more incongruency and resistance within us and around us, right? Or people that are in my containers that we're working with and we're expanding, but then it just seemingly feels like things are blowing up. This can occur as well. So I want to speak to all of this. And I want to ask the question, but what if the opposite were true? What if right now, in this moment, in whatever you're moving through, what if that is the path? What if that's not you off path? What if it is the path right now? Because how could it not be? Because this is where you are. And we are meant to, when we remember who we are and we come back into our soul nature, we are meant to trust deeply in that, in the present moment, in God and the universe, and that there are no mistakes, there are no accidents, only opportunities. In Kabbalah, it's said that God, creator, is light. It's incoming light. And its job is to continue to pour more light into our lives. And in order for us to receive that light, and you can think of light in the form of your desires, a big manifestation, like a next level life. But in order for us to receive that light, we have to become the vessel for it. In other words, we have to be the match for it. We have to be able to hold it. We can't hold the incoming light in the same vessel that's currently praying for it, right? We need to transform to become the expanded vessel, to have the right capacity to hold more light. So, what happens in that process before the light can come in, right? Before the manifestation is actualized, before the wish is fulfilled, we often experience a period of darkness or perceived darkness, the cracking, the crumbling of the vessel that can't hold the incoming light. If you have 100 watts that are coming through and you only got a 40-watt globe, what's going to happen? It's going to short circuit. It can't hold it. And so, what that's going to look like is the old patterns, the beliefs, the behaviors that live in an outgrown identity can't come with you. And that's the dissolving, right? And so, the creator, think of it like this: the creator, God's spirit, loves you so much and wants you to have all that you are asking for, all that you desire, all that you are praying for. And so, in this process of transformation, you are going to be shown, make no mistake, all of the patterns that you're here to transcend, the relationships that maybe can't come with you because they're not meant to. And God gives you new choices so that you have the opportunity to grow into the version of you that's living your desired reality, to become her. But to the human eye, this can look like heartbreak, financial struggle, loss, conflict. But I want to ask you the question, what if none of that is here to break you? What if it's not showing you how you're going backwards? What if it's showing you a way for the evolved you to rise and to choose again and to lead, and for that which isn't you to fall away and dissolve? Like, just contemplate that for a moment. And if you knew that, then perhaps you would view what you're moving through right now in your life differently. Maybe you would see it as an opportunity. Maybe you would see it as a gift. Because everything here in your life that's being shown to you, that's showing up, is for you. Everything is for you. Neville Goddard says life is you pushed out. Everyone is here as characters in your role, playing a role to show you where you're not free, or to show you your opportunity to grow, to transcend these old patterns, to become who you're here to become. That means, though, yes, all of the good news, all of the celebrations, all of the gifts, and all of the miracles are for you. But if that's the case, so are the struggles, so are the low points, so are the challenges. Because we learn in this human experience, we learn so much via contrast. I know that the biggest things that I have learnt have come through going through, walking through the fire and coming through the other side. The darkness shows us where the light is needed. We would not even know to turn on a light if the room wasn't dark. In fact, we wouldn't know what light is without the contrast of darkness. Is the darkness there to pull us under, to destroy us, to take us off our path? No. It's here to reveal your capacity for more light, to reveal where more light is needed and where more light is coming in for you. Some would even say, get excited, because if you are experiencing a period of darkness, it's because there's more light that is available for you, that is ready and waiting for you to become the one who can receive it. So you can think of resistance only comes in the first place because we are not able to accept that where we are is in fact where we're meant to be. Consider that nature doesn't make mistakes, right? Like, look at the seasons that we move through. At the moment, I'm going through this period of beautiful winter and the darkness of winter in the southern hemisphere. If you're listening in the northern hemisphere, you're going through summer. Like, doesn't make a mistake and all of a sudden we skip winter and move straight into summer. No, there's always spring before summer. Like, nature doesn't make mistakes. Nature doesn't resist winter. Trees don't believe that somehow they've failed because they've all of a sudden lost every leaf and been stripped bare. The ocean doesn't make a mistake when it's in low tide. No, it knows that the high tide is coming. Everything moves through these cycles and these seasons, except as humans. And I don't know if any other species does this, but as humans, we spend enormous amounts of energy trying to stay back in one season or try to force a season before it's ready, trying to control when the next one is, what it's going to look like, or when it's going to arrive. And we're not trusting in our nature and in the cycle of life when we do that. So, most suffering isn't created by what we're actually experiencing. It's when we're arguing with the fact that what we're experiencing isn't what we're meant to. We're arguing with what is while desiring a different reality. So, we have the desire The problem is we have a hell of a lot of resistance, and this actually keeps us at arm's length from the life that is calling us. If we knew that, we would suddenly, if we really, really knew this in the depths of our heart, we would start to relate to resistance in a very different way. And I know that to begin with, this can even create some more resistance. It can feel like a big pill to swallow, especially if you're moving through and experiencing something in your life that's far from ideal. And it's challenging you, and it's creating fear and anxiety and overwhelm. And I want you to know that the only reason I'm speaking to this is because I have moved through this time and time again. I'm moving through another initiation of that. We are designed to, because we are constantly growing and changing and evolving and moving to the next level of the game. But what I do want to say, if you are moving through a season that's challenging you, if it is creating fear and anxiety and doubt and overwhelm, it's really important to know, firstly, that those feelings are not you. They do not define you. They are simply expressions of energy moving through you that you are having an experience of. But you are not your fear. You are someone who is experiencing that in a moment. You are not your anxiety. You're having an experience of that. But a lot of these big emotions or undesirable feelings are here because we are resisting the situation in our life that's actually not here to pull us under. It's here to elevate us. It's here for us. And I can only speak to that because I know that diamond has come out. Like, what I say, diamond comes from pressure. Like, I have had the most miraculous seasons in my life have come off the back of the most contractive periods, the hardest times, the most darkness. So, beauty, whatever is occurring in your life right now, it's there because you're at a place in your life where you are ready, where you have the capacity to navigate it, or the capacity is being built within you. And why is that? Because you asked for a bigger dream, because you asked for more, because your soul knows you are ready. See, the thing is, we often assume that life only gives us what we're already capable of handling, right? But very often, life gives us the initiations, the gifts disguised as challenges, the experiences that actually build the very capacity that we have been asking for. We just don't see it. We're too busy trying to argue with what is, than actually see the deeper invitation here that's within all of it. So we're asking for more abundance. We're asking for more impact, more income, for a deeper relationship, maybe for more visibility, without realizing that those things require a different you, a different nervous system, a different identity, a different level of openness and receptivity, a different relationship with uncertainty. And so, if the you who's resisting all of this, who is that version of you? It's the old version of you that doesn't think that they can do this. You don't need to get that version of you on board. You just simply need to uncover the version of you who's already on the other side of this. You don't need to construct her. She's actually you, or he's actually you, when you're not in the doubt and the resistance, when you're not arguing with reality. So, what is being asked to be revealed through you? That's the bigger invitation. That's the bigger question. And often, because we're trying to create something from our ego instead of allowing something to occur through our soul, we are unwilling to do the inner work required to become the person who's living that desired reality. And this is where I see so many people have the dream, the goal, the vision, but they stay the same version of themselves. And that just creates a huge gap. How do we dissolve this gap? How do we dissolve this perceived gap? It's through our becoming. And yes, that can feel stretchy. It's meant to, because that old version of you can't come with you. And so, in that becoming, you're going to be asked to respond in a new way from the version of you that has the capacity, from the version of you that trusts herself, who has the regulated nervous system. Stop trying to bring the old you on board and start becoming the you who's already here. And this is the essential work, because when you allow yourself to become her, to make moves as the version of you who knows, who trusts, who's actually here to lead, then life can rearrange. She's already living that life. Forget even life rearranging. She comes with a whole new set of beliefs, a whole new set of circumstances that are reflective of where you desire to be, because you have asked for that. So when we're trying to make something happen from our ego needs, wants, and expectations, what we're often feeling is this grip or attachment to our desire, or this control. And we want it without having to do the work, without having to experience the challenge or the loss or the crumbling that's preparing us for the very thing that we are desiring. Right? And that's how we know. That's how when I work with clients, I can tell, are they still trying to make something happen from their ego identity, from their conditioned reality? Because when that happens, we resist the work that's required and we go back into the old conditioning. And that's why so many people will come into my wellness and they've been there for years, because they're trying to make it happen from the old conditioning, hoping and praying and affirming, even like doing all the tools, hoping that something's going to shift without actually doing doing their part to actually be the shift that life is asking for. And I'm not saying that you need the challenges to grow and expand, but I am saying the challenges here are not evidence that you are failing. It's more often, the evidence that you are becoming. Because all of a sudden you're meeting a version of you that can hold it, that can put herself out there, that can set the boundary, that can make the phone call, that can lead. So the experience that you're resisting may actually be building the very person capable of receiving what you've asked for. Have you considered that? Look at the caterpillar. That dissolving of the caterpillar is not comfortable. Like, it's literally a dissolving, but it's necessary in order to become the one who flies. So what if flying is your dream, but you're just staying as the caterpillar on the ground, resisting the transformation, resisting the process of becoming, because you think that it's uncomfortable, because you think setting that boundary that you can't do it. But guess what? As I was explaining to my women in my soul power journey, this powerful 12-week transformation that we're going through, when you show up and lead as the version of you who knows, who trusts, who believes, you automatically heal a younger version of you who never thought that she could speak up, who was always afraid of confrontation, who was always afraid of putting herself out there. You don't need to go back and fix and heal, because we stay in this healing cycle. You just choose to make a move as the version of you who's deciding to trust instead of doubt. And automatically you heal that part of you that never thought she could do that. Do you know how amazing that is? You're doing it for her. And it's our resistance to what is It's our resistance to those challenges that keeps us in the same place. So, if you take anything from this episode, like this practice of non resistance is really, what's life asking of me right now? Can I meet life as it is, knowing that it's here for you, not to destroy you, but to uplevel you? Right? So this is about seeing what is here for you and knowing that it's actually embedded with a beautiful, expansive invitation for you, with an initiation. And how you respond to that initiation or that invitation determines whether you actually progress to the next level of the game, determines whether you stay cycling around the old identity or you actually meet the manifestation. This is why some people will manifest instantly and some people will stay circling. It's all up to you. And don't wait until you feel ready. Trust them. What is here for you is giving you this opportunity because there's a version of you who's already there. So, this is about how you evolve through this initiation. And this isn't a strategy problem. It's not a strategy question. It's not, what do I do? What steps do I need to take? And that's normally what we ask ourselves. Instead, the deeper, richer question that is being asked of you is, who am I being? How am I responding to this? Right? So every moment that you're moving through, right, it's asking you one question, and it's not asking you, what am I going to do? Because that's often what we ask ourselves straight away. What am I going to do? But instead, what if you start asking yourself, who am I going to be? Who am I being invited to become? So the ego variation is like we're unwilling to relent the old patterns and the habits that keep us in limitation, resisting what makes you available for the very thing that you've been asking for. But the soul variation, when you're responding as your soul led identity, you're responding as your truth, as the version of you who knows she is exactly where she needs to be. What if you started believing that you're already whole, already complete, that none of what you're moving through actually defines you, and that your choices in the moment are what is paving the way for your expansion? Because you know your soul is moving you to the next level of expansion. Like, you know this, right? And that's exciting. But in order for that to occur, the expansion and the inevitable manifestation on the other side of that, like AKA your desired reality, we have to be willing to die to and to allow to crumble that which cannot sustain the new frontier. Those old patterns, those limiting beliefs, the ways you've been distracting yourself, or letting your energy be drawn into things that are not serving your highest becoming. It's time to take stock right now. What are you being shown? What is occurring in your life is not by accident. It's pointing you towards something, a gift disguised as an obstacle. And yes, that's going to feel like in your body, that might feel like contraction, like a big squeeze, like loss and sadness, like an intolerance for things that never used to bother you. It can feel like a need to depart from situations and circles and relationships that no longer align with who you are becoming. Can you trust in that? Can you trust in that deeper knowing that you are being prepared for more? And maybe you don't even know what that more is right now, and that's okay. But just know this, that in order for that to happen, the universe is going to clear and eradicate what isn't you. It's going to show you maybe where you've been hiding. It's going to illuminate, like we're in the full moon energy right now. It's going to illuminate the patterns that you are here to transcend, because you get to choose again, right? And what is being asked of you in each moment. And the rest will unfold as you become more and more non resistance. resistant, right? Like that verse from the Bible, be still and know that I am God. It's like pause, be still. We're so used to being in the reaction, in the patterning. So the invitation is to embrace right now, to say to yourself, okay, this is where life has brought me. You meet the present moment. Whether I like it or not, this is the ground I'm standing on. What's here is here. And the moment that I stop fighting the fact that it's here, I become available for what this is asking of me. This is not about affirming your way, trying to convince your way into a new reality. This is honest and true self talk that comes from your soul, because your soul doesn't think that anything's wrong. Your soul knows you haven't missed a step. Your soul knows you're right where you're meant to be. So while the old identity might be asking, how do I make this stop? Your soul is asking, what is this making available for me? Your old identity might be saying, why is this happening to me? But your soul is asking you, who is this asking you to become? The old identity might feel the contraction, but the soul is in participation, meeting life as is. When we do that, the resistance drops. We close the gap between where we are and where we want to be. So, what helps you navigate these times, these shifts that you're moving through? Because make no mistake, shift happens, right? Life happens. Life is life. You always say that. That's one thing for certain. You are growing and evolving through this soul incarnation. That is not a possibility. It's an inevitability, because that's why you're here. That's why we're all here. The soul doesn't need to grow. It's already whole and complete. But who you are in this lifetime as a human, as an identity, as a character, is evolving to become your highest expression. You have chosen that. The living and breathing embodiment of your highest self, your soul-led identity. That is what you're choosing. I know if you're listening to this podcast, you are choosing that. So what is being asked of you first is to meet yourself where you're at. To stop identifying with the role that you've been playing, with the avatar, with the character. Instead, to remember that you are none of that. Who you are is the soul observing all of this, is the one who writes the code, is the one who selects the character. And in any moment, you get to choose again. But know this, your resistance to what is freezes you in that old identity. The acceptance allows your identity to evolve. So when we stop trying to make what is different, we become present enough to hear, what is this moment asking of me? And that's so powerful. Be still and know that I am God. Remember who you are. Breathe, pause. Like what this does is it creates some distance between what seems to have occurred to you and reminds you that this is for you, because everything is for you. And so if this is for me, then the universe is handing me a gift. And in that gift is the invitation. Who is this asking me to become? How is this asking me to respond? And that answer, what you do with that, from that changes everything. Your true power, your soul power lies in those contemplations. So maybe you can walk away from this episode and consider, maybe nothing's gone wrong. Maybe nothing's late. Maybe nothing needs fixing. Maybe life isn't trying to break me. Maybe it's asking me to just release, to untether from the version of me that is not meant to carry where my soul is actually leading me, that's not actually be the one that leads. It's been used to leading, but it's not meant to anymore. And instead, maybe I'm finally being invited to bring forward the one who's not in the question but lives inside the solution, the one who's ready to lead you, the one who knows the way. She's been quietly waiting in the background and she is ready to step up. And this is the invitation of this energy of this week, of this full moon. You get to choose. Continue playing in the old identity or step up to who you're being invited to become, and do that brave, with courage, bravely and with courage. Because if you're here and you're here right now and you're listening to this, it's because you're done. You're done co-signing your own limitation. You're done holding yourself back from what you know you are actually ready for. My friends, if you want support with this, reach out. I'll pop the link below for my one-to-one sessions where we can accelerate this. You don't need to keep circling around those old patterns. There is a beautiful, deep invitation here, and we can do the deeper work together. Or sign up for my 12-week soul power that starts middle of October. We are doing it again if you want to finish the year strong. So much transformation happens when you are inside a powerful container like this with other women who are walking alongside you, and also with my support week in and week out. Thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. If you resonated with this episode, listen to it again, take it in, let it feed your soul, share it with someone who you know could derive benefit from this, who is also stepping towards their highest calling, ready to embrace and become their highest self. And I would so appreciate it if you could give us a review on Apple or Spotify. Make sure you are following along to the podcast. Have the most beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up, for doing the work, and for being who you are. Take care.